What's going on, guys? Hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good week as always. I want to talk about one story today, and then I guess at the end I'll read super chats or during. I don't know. I'm new to the YouTube live stream thing. Usually I stream on Facebook. As you guys know, they banned me for 3 days, so it's opened up this new platform. So I'll just kind of wing it overall. But the story I want to talk about mainly today is Vice News has basically had to downsize 10%. This is coming after BuzzFeed has had to downsize. Huffington Post has had to downsize. It looks like a far left media collapse in a cert, and I'm going to talk about why that may be happening. Let's wait like a minute or 2 minutes for people to get in live stream. I'm going to drink some tea. Sorry. Clear my throat a little too. I got good tea. Thank you, guys. I'll read some comments while we're waiting. Robert, appreciate you, brother. I always retweet you on Twitter. I see you. Do you have a P.O. box? No, I'm good. Sorry, I don't want to get bombed or ricin. I'll pass. You guys could just use digital services. Yeah, I'm going to stream on YouTube more often. It's been going really well. So thank you. Hello, Majik Mittens. We got Charlie from Philadelphia. Porter Bear from, oh, cool, Jersey. Yeah, you know. Thank you, Future. I'm glad you like the song. Give people a little while. Look and rest, my man. This is a few YouTubers shouted out that your channel's been banned. That's cool. Yeah, you know. Thank you. We got love. I appreciate you. Yeah, you know, good people got my back, and you know, it's all love overall. I was a little upset when I first got banned because it's not even just like people are like, get off Facebook. The real reason I'm mad is I have a big reach on Facebook and I'm effective. So that's why I was really bothered, because there's stories going on. But to be honest, I could use a 3-day break from Facebook. It's been really nice. Thank you. My friend Sharon got me this mug. I got some good like farmer's market tea. It's fire. Holland, tune in. I got you. Sorry. My sinuses get the best of me sometimes. All right, let's start it up. Someone said, I got banned on Facebook for saying women are chameleons at my age. It's getting ridiculous. Like, how do they not know that you're not being sarcastic? Someone said, cut off my man bun. You're gonna have to pay me more than $5 to cut my my hair off. Sorry, it's gonna cost more than that. You got to give me like 10K or something. Hair is strength, like the native said. Before you and your people went and killed him, dog. Anyway, I want to talk about Vice News today. They're downsizing 10%. I have some reasons why I think it's downsizing. I'm sure they won't listen, but hopefully it's not just echo chamber people listening to me. Thank you, Char Council. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully it's not just people who agree with me listening. Hopefully there's some like Vice employees who are listening as well. I want to start it off. I'm going to play an audio clip from Malcolm X, but one thing that really bothers me about Vice, besides the fact that they're like losing it a little bit. I know Gavin McInnes used to work there, and now Vice is just like microaggressions and like it's all just like insanely far left, like ridiculous nonsense. They made a huge what I would consider error on the Libya situation. And for somebody who claims like, and this is why I'm about to do a back-to-back Malcolm X, I hope there's some black activists and some liberals watching. This is a quote from Vice, and they claim to be like the gatekeepers of the black community. We love the gays, we love the blacks, we love women, we're the far left. We love everyone so much more than you do. They're really wolves in sheep's clothing. Or as Malcolm X said, sorry, I just woke up, but not really just woke up. Anyway, they're like a fox in sheep's clothing. So this is Vice from October 20th, 2011. And they said, today, Gaddafi is spelled D-E-A-D, dead. We imagine our buddies, the rebels, are celebrating pretty hard right now. Thank you, Abel. So I'm going to read that again. This is Vice News, who claims that they love black people. Today, Gaddafi is spelled dead. We imagine our buddies, the rebels in Libya, are celebrating pretty hard right now. So they were buddies with the rebels. The rebels killed the leader of Libya, who was like, I hate to, I'm bringing up Farrakhan so much. I don't mean to be like that always talking about Farrakhan, but Farrakhan was good friends with, thank you, Eric. I appreciate you, brother. Farrakhan was good friends with Gaddafi, and they just like murdered him. And he was actually lifting up black people. You can say what you want about Farrakhan or Gaddafi. Obviously they have their downfalls, but you could tell when something gets worse. Like, that's why I back up Farrakhan a lot, because conservatives attack him. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't think he's the greatest person ever, but I know that he's better than a lot of other black leaders, and that's why they hate him. Same with Gaddafi. He's way better than a lot of African leaders, so they killed him. Vice was like cheering. They're like, yay, he's dead. And ever since they killed Gaddafi, it's not been a utopia or a democracy or a liberal whatever. It's been slavery. Like, literally, Africans are enslaved in Libya. If Trump did this, it would be the story every day, as it should. But they're talking about microaggressions on Vice. Meanwhile, they celebrated the death of an African leader that led to slavery and organ harvesting and a total power vacuum of extremists. This is Vice News, who is celebrating it. Have they ever said sorry? Have they retracted? Have they explained, like, whoops, we celebrated our buddies, the rebels? They probably knew them personally. I mean, Vice is notorious for going to other countries and doing deep diving stuff. Maybe they knew the rebels and are partly responsible for the Libyan collapse into slavery. Let's listen to Malcolm X. He says it better than I can.
I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro.
So what Malcolm is saying is, someone said Farrakhan's a Jew hater. Roseanne Barr is your friend. She's a Jew. Yeah, no, I know Roseanne's my friend. Listen, we've had that discussion. I'm just strictly talking about Libya and Vice right now. We'll talk about that later. But if you could hear what Malcolm X said, sorry. It's gross, but I got to get it out of my throat. If you listen to what he's saying if you listen to, I mean, he said Negro, but I'll just say black because it's not the cool word anymore. He said the black community is like, it's basically controlled by the white liberal. And then he goes on to say later, the guy said, well, there's also black leaders who have misled black people. And Malcolm X said that name one black leader that's misled black people that isn't sanctioned, supported, and funded by the white liberal. And he's totally right. All of the black leaders that are really bad for the black community, they're all being sanctioned and supported by the white liberal. If you're a good black leader, Ellen's not going to have you on. You're not going to be on MSNBC. You're not going to be on CNN. They don't allow black leaders who aren't supported and, basically controlled by the white liberal. And with Vice, before I even get into why they're downsizing, they're the exact example of what Malcolm X was talking about. He said, they pretend to be your friend, but they cheered on what ended up being the slavery of Africans. Who would you rather? Trump tell you, what else do you got to lose? They've already screwed you over. And people are like, oh my God, that's so mean. And then these guys who pretend to be your friends, they hold a bunch of rallies, they write a bunch of microaggression articles, and then they cheer on the rebels who killed the leader of Libya, who then in turn, turned into a power vacuum with no clear government, where extremists and jihadists have taken over and enslaved African people. This is what Vice does. This is why I said on my Instagram and stuff, I'm pro-black, I'm pro-LGBT, I'm pro-America. I'm just not an idiot. Like, if someone says, Anomaly, I love you so much, and then punches me in the back of the head, and then someone else says to me, Anomaly, yo, you got something on your face, you got to clear your face off. My friend is the guy who tells me there's something on my face. I might not want to hear it, but that's your friend. Your friend is not the one who pats you on the back and then punches you in the back of the head when you start walking away. That's what the white liberal does. And Vice is like just a bunch of creepy, light-skinned liberals who are like total liars, and they don't care about the slavery in Libya because they actually cheered it on. So that's my little intro to Vice. White Devil said, I'm pro-white people. I think you should be allowed to be pro anything, but nowadays that'll get you in trouble. You could be pro-Jewish, you could be pro-black, you could be pro-woman, but you can't be pro-man, you can't be pro-white. You can't, I mean, they got words anti-Semitic, Islamophobic, but they don't have an anti-Christian word. I get it, my man. It's like, you can be happy. I think everyone should be happy. If you wear a shirt that says proud black woman, you get cheered on. If you were a proud white woman, it's like you get attacked. You know, it's interesting times. Anyway, someone said Vice did a good report on young black conservatives. No, I'm sure they did. Just like CNN, I share when they do good work. Like Vice isn't all 100% terrible. They're probably just like 93% terrible. I'm glad that they're doing black conservatives. Here's the thing. We'll get into it. I'm gonna walk away to I don't want to clear my throat on camera. It's gross. But the reason probably, and we'll get into it, the reason that the far left or Vice or whatever, why they did a good young black conservatives thing is because they're mostly there's a lot of black and all other ethnicities there too, but it's mostly white people with white guilt. So that's why the black conservative is effective, because white liberals have white guilt. So if you're a black conservative, they have to go through the oppression Olympics. They're like, well, you're conservative, so I don't agree with you, but you're black, so you're better than me, and I need to give you my platform. So I get that's why, you know, there's a lot of black conservative leaders rising in the ranks really quickly. It's because they're, you know, I mean, a lot of them are intelligent and great at what they do too. But it's the trap card. We shouldn't have to play trap cards, but it's the trap card for the white liberal who doesn't judge people based on content of character and argument. They strictly judge people by gender and race. That's why people like Candace are so effective. They don't know what to say. Wait, she's a woman and she's black and I'm white. So now if I'm white and I'm like, that's their whole game. So I'm not surprised they did one on black conservatives. Someone said his son is running for Libyan president. Very interesting. Good luck to his son, unless his son sucks, and not good luck. Anyway, I find it hilarious, although I never like to cheer over people losing their jobs like advice. I can't help but find it hilarious how the liberal totem pole ends up going. It's a lose-lose. That's why I say like, you can not listen to me. You could think I'm mean and terrible and racist and sexist, although I'm not at all. And that would be mischaracterization, which then I'd have to, then I'd have to call you out if you lie about me. But the totem pole is hilarious because here's what they do. So first, what they did at Vice was because now there's media saying most of the people that they fired on the 10% layoff are people of color and gay people or whatever. So they hire a bunch of gay and black people and probably like Asian women and stuff. They hire a bunch of people of color. I don't like that term. I find it demeaning. And minority, I don't like that term either. But anyway, they hire these people, like they bend over backwards for these people. They say, we're going to give you the job because you're a gay black man who's going to complain about microaggressions. Like they go out of their way to give a small percentage. Like the gay population and the black population is a minority in America. I get that term as far as statistically. So they give you the job and then it doesn't make money, because when you hire people based on the skin color and their gender, instead of hiring people based on who they are and their ability and how good they are and how profitable they are and how intelligent they are and how creative they are and how willing to adapt and evolve they are, when you hire people like that, it's not going to make business sense. So they bend over backwards for these people. They tell them they're the best. There's nothing you can do wrong. Like you're the greatest and the whole world's against you. Then they're making, 5-6 figure salaries, sitting on their iPhone, trying to look at Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and how racist he is. And then Vice is forced to fire them because they're not making money. They're like, this wasn't working out. The opinion section sucks. The microaggression, like little community of like far leftists, like ninnies, it's not working out for us. So they hire them, they bend over backwards for them. It doesn't work out. They fire them. And then those same people come to attack them and say, oh, you're only firing the people of color? Oh, I see. You're only firing the gay people. The left is a total lie. You bend, like same in the movie industry now and in the music industry. You look at the movie and music industry, Black representation is extremely high. It's higher than it's ever been. They're looking for reasons not to hire white people, and they're looking for reasons to hire gay and black people. Even though gay and black, and especially gay black, it's a very low percentage of the country. So it's like maybe 30, 40 to 50% of the jobs are available to you and only you based on your color or your gender or your sexual identity. And you're only a small percentage. Like it's the greatest time. They're not being oppressed. They say, well, there's systemic racism. I agree. All the systemic racism, you could say social, whatever you want to say. The system, until Trump changed some laws, it's racist against white people and Asians for doing really well in school, mostly because of when it comes to Asians, they come to this country with nothing, escaping, evil regimes a lot of time. And the reason they do so well is, one, maybe it's genetics, but mostly they have a good family structure. There's no option. The parents stick together and they say, you're going to do well in school, sometimes to a fault. A lot of Asians rebel against their parents because they're too hard, but they shouldn't get penalized for doing well. Point I'm being is, these people at Vice, and it's like, you give them everything and they want more and more. It's like the left. The whole ideology, it has nothing to do with race or sexuality. I'm just using this as an example at Vice. The whole ideology is a lie. It's an ideology of total power and control. It's the same with abortion or taxes or gun rights. The left always wants more. The right is trying to just chill and leave us alone and give the people more money and more freedom and more personal liberty, although the right's been pretty crappy for a while. The left does this with everything, whether it's social issue. They want more. Everything's equal, to the point where they're going to skew it, start being sexist against men, start being racist against white people. They rig everything in their favor. All the algorithms are rigged. The jobs are rigged at Google and Apple. They're run by a bunch of like beta male white guys who literally will bend over backwards and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll give you my job. Like they're doing everything in their power. And then it doesn't work out, because that's what happens in a socialist communist ideology. When you don't judge people based on their skill set, when you don't judge people based on the content of their character, when you don't judge people based on their qualifications and how much they deserve the job, or how good of a writer they are, or how much value they could bring to their company, and you solely just look for excuses to hire certain genders and certain races and certain sexualities who aren't good journalists. I mean, Glenn Greenwald is a good gay journalist, and they hate him because he's actually a decent journalist. Caitlin Johnstone, I don't know if she's gay or not, but she's like a far left, progressive, socialist, communist, anarchist. She's all confused. She does good writing, even though I don't agree with her. The rest of these people, they don't have that much talent. And it's like, I don't know. It's not that hard. Why am I 50,000? Like, I don't want to exaggerate. Why am I 100 times as big as people that are getting 6 figures and 5 figures from a company that have all the resources in the world? They have studios, they have money, they have teams, they have promotion, they have millions of followers. Why am I bigger than their biggest personalities? It's because they're not hiring smartly. They're not hiring good people. I don't care about who they are, but it's like, this is happening at BuzzFeed and Huffington Post. They're not evolving. Text-based news is not in. Video-based news is in. But when you go far left, first of all, when you hate on Trump, like, I have socialists and communists who listen to me. Yeah, I don't like socialism and communism. I rag on it, but I don't viciously hate these people, and they know this. Like, I'll see a socialist on the street. They'd probably punch another conservative in the face, but they're like, hey, Anomaly, you look good today. I'm like, thank you, socialist friend, or whatever their name. Like, we have a good time. It's like, I don't agree with their ideology, but I don't hate them viciously. I disagree strongly with their social, political, and mental ideology, and they get that. Vice and these Huffington Post, they hate Trump. They hate conservatives. They hate half the country, more than half the country, and then they lose the other half. It's like they hate men. They hate conservatives. They hate Trump supporters. They hate people who disagree with us. They hate liberals who don't believe in, far left social Marxism, which is a lot of them. A lot of Democrats and liberals they hate people who aren't offended by everything. They hate people who like comedy and who think political correctness is stupid, even if they like Democrat. Like, at the end of the day, your target audience is so small, you're never going to thrive. Like, you're either going to lose, or you're 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 going to lose. And then they lose, and then they blame the people who hired them, the leftists at the top, saying, you're racist and sexist. No, they bent over backwards to give you a job that you didn't deserve, that you probably weren't capable of doing, with an opinion and a writing skill. Like, you're not captivating journalists who are bringing in value, whether it be on the audio or visual or text-based side. And maybe Vice is a bad company. Maybe it's not the writer's fault. That's a possibility. Maybe the writers are incredible and the company's just terrible. I don't know, because I've been at companies too where they didn't value me, and then they lost, and they lost me. So, much love to the Vice writers. Maybe it's them, but this is what's going to happen every single time. Why am I thriving? Because I have a big audience without being fake about it. First of all, I support the president. So all the people, and that's a huge chunk of people that have no media. They have no rappers who appreciate them. They have no celebrities. I'm a truly compassionate person. Like, I agree with most conservative values today because the left has lost their mind. But even if I wasn't, even if I was still a leftist, conservatives would still like me. Even if I believed in all their creepy policies, the right would still like me because I'm actually a kind and compassionate person. So I'd always be I never hated. I didn't like Fox News and stuff. I didn't agree with it, but I never hated old people. Like, I'm not a hateful person. So I would never act like that anyway. So first of all, I agree with them. So a lot of people like me because I agree with their values, but also people who don't agree with me, I'm palatable because I don't hate them. Hate is not good. It doesn't work on the right. There's a lot of right-wing news who are too hateful and too negative. I don't like them either, you know, but there's an audience for them because a lot of media doesn't tap into it. But me, you can't work at Vice and Huffington Post and BuzzFeed and hate 80% of the country. When you factor in men, 50%, Trump supporters, 50%, Venn diagram, probably like 60, 70%. You hate comedy. You hate Dave Chappelle. You hate Louis C.K., even though he's a liberal because he made a joke that's funny and true. Who do you think you're appealing to? You're only appealing to like 0.1% of the population, and even they don't agree with each other. They're like, well, you're more racist than me. No, you're sexist. Well, you're a white man. It's a total shit show. The left is a total lose, and they're going to crush themselves under the weight of their own hypocrisy and lunacy. Someone said far left, typical ignorant right winger. You could call it what you want to call it. I don't know what you call what they're doing. They are implementing, socialist policies. They're implementing, a social ideology, a far left mental ideology. You could disagree with how I label it, but the ideology that you're judging people solely because of their sexuality and based on their skin color rather than the content of their character. You don't understand the philosophy behind the fact that even in an equal communist society, some people are going to work harder. Some people are going to be more interesting. Some people are going to earn more, whether it be social or financial value. It's just going to happen. These are concepts I consider them far left. And so does, Howard Schultz, who's a normal Democrat who's now running independent. You can disagree with me, but you're losing a lot of people. And it's okay. You don't have to agree, but it's a someone said political cannibalism. That's what it is. It's a eat yourself. You're a man. I hate, if you don't want to call it far left on a social scale, I don't know what you want to call it. When you hate a bunch of people because of their gender, when you hate people based on their skin color, when you only want to hire inner groups of people who agree with you, when you completely reject any other people, when you viciously hate half the country, when you're celebrating the killing of an African leader, but then you turn around and pretend like you're the gatekeepers of the black community, when you sit on Twitter all day and you write articles about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and microaggressions and how Asian people are abetting white supremacy because they're not like, yes, I consider that far left, and I'm sorry if that bothers you. So do a lot of people. It's not appealing. It's not helpful. And outside of the politics of it and the labels of it, it's a mindset that doesn't actually help you. Being ungrateful, unappreciative. If you work at Vice, if they hired you to be a blogger at one of the bigger media companies in the US, and you're allowed to sit on Twitter and order Uber Eats and talk in your group about all these things that bother you and publish them to, like, things could be a lot worse. My grandparents worked in factories. So the fact that I'm able to sit at a computer, I'm like, you know what? It's they don't have an ounce of gratitude. They don't have an ounce of appreciation. They don't have an ounce of love for the opposition side or personal liberty and freedom. It's a groupthink ideology where they believe that the group mentality is bigger than the individual, and it just doesn't make sense, and it never works, and it's not working in media. It's not working in politics. The Democratic Party is going to find out the hard way. Like, you can't win with that far left ideology. I'm not a typical right winger. It's just what it is. I love the environment. I have no qualms with the LGBT community. Have sex with who you want. I don't care. I'm pro marijuana. I'm as liberal as it comes socially. The normal, what the media is turning into is far left, radical, cultural, Marxist extremists disguising themselves as social justice warriors. You have Howard Schultz, billionaire, self-made billionaire of Starbucks, very liberal company, very liberal guy to the point of probably fault. I don't agree with him on some stuff. He's saying that the Democratic Party, he doesn't agree with it. And look at him in the media. Look how they're treating Howard Schultz. He's a leftist. And they're saying he doesn't understand history. He's not fit to run the country. He's like, they're giving him the Trump treatment in the media. Anybody in the media gets a Trump treatment. Someone said, are you libertarian now? I'm rational and common sense. If a socialist or a communist comes to me with a plan that makes sense, I'll agree with it. If a conservative or a libertarian, but I don't believe in big government. I can see it doesn't work at the VA. It's never worked in history very well. It doesn't work. I'm not for big government at all. So I'm more libertarian than anything. I don't think that liberals and progressives should be monitoring gun rights and stuff. I don't think the left identifies the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is mental health. The root of the problem is also like self-responsibility. It's how we're teaching our people education-wise, socially. It doesn't make sense. So they're trying to stop the gun. They're trying to stop the climate. Like, how would you change the climate if it's truly, you'd have to plant trees. You'd have to stop China. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they had a plan and they're like, dude, climate change is happening. It's CO2 and we have to stop it. Okay, how are we going to do it? We're going to plant 10 billion, 20 billion trees. We're going to, we're going to make India and China stop polluting because they're polluting a lot. They don't do that. They just scream and freak out about everything. So the left, they don't do anything right, in my opinion. And not only are they wrong about everything and their solutions, they don't have any, but then they're trying to take away things from me, take my money, make it so I'm not allowed to pick my own healthcare plan, that they throw an $8,000 fine a year at me. They're trying to raise this, raise that. And there's no solution at the end of it. So yeah, I'm definitely not leftist in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I'm more economically, I'm way more libertarian and conservative, but I don't like those labels because the way a lot of conservatives act, I don't agree with that. And libertarians, I'm not like an anarchist. If you go far right economically, it's no law at all. I believe in some structure, but I'm definitely not left. And here's what I think. And some people could disagree. I'm sure some people will. On a left or right scale, economically and socially, we're not in the middle. So like Trump's trying to drag it right. That's why I seem more right wing now, because we're not where we should be. I'm trying to drag us right because we're really far left. Like the media tries to say we're far right wing and we need to go further left. But the truth is we're so far left. If we go any further, it's going to be socialism and communism. And they know this. This is not like you could watch this stream and be like, anomaly. They know, they're admitting this openly now. Like celebrities, politicians, you can't go further left without it being socialism and communism. On a social scale, any further left than they're already going, there's hate speech laws. They're already implemented on social media sites, although it's not true law, but it has a big effect. We have to go back right. Like we can't go any more left. And that's what scares me about progressives. They understand that the wars are bad. Like, yeah, I agree with progressives on Libya. I agree with them on Syria. I agree with them on their foreign intervention on most things. But the crazy part about progressives is they say the Democrats aren't left enough. They're like suicidal lemmings. It's like, yeah, I get that we agree. We know the media is corrupt. We know the wars are corrupt, but then they have this fanatical idea that giving the entire health industry to the government is going to solve the problem. That's what a lot of evil regimes did. They give power and health and education completely into the hands of government. And that's what they're doing in California. It's going socialist and communist. I mean, they're not allowing schools to do vouchers anymore. So the school system's suffering. Their solution's always bigger government. Well, now you can't go to a voucher school. You got to go to public school. They're herding you into government-run operations. It's a one-way path to hell. And I don't care who disagrees with it. You could say I'm wrong about saying it's far left. You could say you don't agree, but that's how I feel. And you might find out one way or the other, either the hard way or the easy way, that I'm right. We're too far left economically. We're too far left socially. We need to dial it back. Someone said a carbon tax is not a solution. It's a theft scam. 1,000% a solution. If carbon is the problem, if there's too much carbon in the atmosphere, the solution is planting trees, The solution is stopping China and India from being one of the biggest contributors. The solution, that's the big scale solution. But also, I would be very cautious, and I don't care how many scientists say otherwise. The earth is a living being that is very powerful, and they're trying to suck carbon out of the air with machines. I would say you got to be very careful. I don't know how good of an idea that is. Like the world operates on a level we don't understand. I think about 70, 60, 65 to 70% of the ocean, give or take, 65 to 70% of the earth is oceans. According to Google and government websites, 95% of the oceans are unexplored. That means over half of Earth is unexplored. We don't know what's going on Earth. And it's naive and foolish to think that there's nothing under the ocean. Like people say to me, Anomaly, there's nothing on Antarctica. It's just cold. There's nothing under the ocean. It's just, that's very naive and foolish to think that there's nothing there. Maybe there is, but we don't understand what's going on. We don't understand why there's active volcanoes under ice glaciers that are melting. We don't understand what's going on Earth. And I think that Earth, I agree with the natives, the Native Americans on a spiritual level, and Christians, and probably even Muslims. And I don't know what Jews think, honestly, but we are going to pay. Like God is going to make us pay. The earth is going to make us pay. If we think we're gods, the earth will humble us. They're going to send an earthquake. They're going to send a volcano. They're going to send a flood. You know, that's going to happen. We don't control Earth. And you could fight against CO2 for sure. And I'm all for clean water and clean air. I'm actually a very strong clean air advocate. I'm working to clean the air in my city. I'm working extensively on that. But if you're trying to suck carbon out of the air with machines, you might not get the result that you think you're going to get, because the way that the world operates is very, very complex. And the biggest factor that no one wants to talk about with that stuff is that the sun heats our entire planet. At any second, the sun could send a solar flare and knock everything out. At any second, the sun could ice up a little bit, and then we would freeze to death and we'd all die. Like, the sun controls the earth more than any human ever. Even if we're changing based on every cause has an effect. And my problem with liberals and progressives now is they don't want to fix the root of the problem. If we don't fix ourselves mentally, if we don't fix ourselves physically and spiritually, then we're never going to fix the problems. And they want to do all this external stuff. Do this, take this out, take this out. They're like raging psychopaths. They haven't healed themselves, but they're running around spreading their mental illness and their virus mentality to the world. It's not a solution. It's not going to fix the world. Just run it. We're gonna suck carbon. No, relax for like a week or a month. Think about things logically, and then humanity, we can launch out a plan together. You know, and we can get Elon Musk and Trump and Kim Jong-un, and Rodman. Me and Rodman will hoop. You know, we'll figure it out. But we can't just run around screeching and screaming and freaking out, because we're not God, and people don't understand that. The sun is more of a god than we are. The earth is more of a god than we are. Even if you don't believe in God, the earth and the sun are gods. That's why a lot of cultures have the earth god and the sun god. Like, we control it to some extent, but we have to really focus on, I believe personally, our spiritual output has an effect on the earth. You could call me whatever you want. You could say I'm superstitious and science doesn't back it, but science actually does back a lot of energy stuff. People are just too dumb to look into it, but there is a lot of studies on energy and the force that maybe is hard to measure. All right, I'll get to the super chats. Your take on chemtrails? I think they're spraying something, and recently, to back it up with I always back it up with mainstream evidence, because mainstream media, if they tried to smear me, they'd say Anomaly is a conspiracy theorist, but I'm referencing them. CNN recently put out an article that they want to stop climate change by spraying a bunch of, like metals in the air. So it's not just a conspiracy theory now. They want to do it. If they haven't done it already, which I personally think they do, they did it. Why are they spraying? I have no idea. But I believe that they are, personally. Someone said all fossil fuel used to be CO2 in the atmosphere. I'm not even convinced personally. You could call me crazy for this too, but I don't really care. I'm not convinced that fossil fuels even came from fossils. I don't believe that whole theory at all. First, they were saying that fossil fuels are going to run out. So the original theory was we're going to run out of fossil fuels. and we started finding more oil, more oil, more oil, more oil. I'm not saying that we should dig it up, and like I'm not like super. Obviously, oil has benefited humanity more than it's hurt humanity, but they first said that we were going to run out of it, and I don't understand how certain. Like I don't believe the fossil fuel theory. I'm not convinced that that's even true personally, but it's not my hill to talk on. What do you guys think? If you guys do some super chats, I'll answer some of those. But overall, with the Vice stuff, much love to the people that got laid off. Much love to Vice. I don't know if I'd want to work there anymore, but like hire someone like me or Tim Pool. I think they already worked with it. Like hire somebody that people like. Hire somebody that could bridge the gap. Get some conservatives, get some liberals. Have discussions, agree, disagree. Like let me host a debate show. Stop hiring people that are going to stab you in the back. Because if sorry, I have an itch, but like you probably went out of your way to make a organization and a community for them, and then when it didn't work out, they turned around and now they're calling you racist and sexist, because that's what people do that don't understand how the world works. Like some people are racist and sexist, and that comes out of the root level of being racist and sexist is like you have problems with yourself. If you judge someone else based on their skin color and you hate them because of it, even if they're a good person, you have issues. That's your issue, screaming out, blaming other people. But you can't fix that with more racism and sexism and thinking the whole world's out to get you. It's a bad mentality to hold. And it doesn't work in business, doesn't really work in politics very often. It's not going to work for humanity. I'm not saying you can't fight for these issues, but like Vice, Huffington Post, and like BuzzFeed, like certain sections, I'm not into it. And a lot of people aren't. Let's see what you guys are saying. I'll stick around for like 10, 20 minutes, drink some tea. Where are we at? Monsanto working on Terminator seeds. Scary stuff. Yeah. Monsanto merging with Bayer. I mean, I did a whole video on that. You wanna look at some creepy companies? Look into Monsanto and Bayer. Bayer, allegedly was I don't want to get into it now because if I misspeak, they might try to sue or something. But Bayer and Monsanto, just go to their Wikipedia page. I mean, they merged. It's insane. That's the big scoop there. Howard Schultz doesn't know how much Cheerios cost. Who cares? Let's figure out where the seeds and the grain are coming from. Someone said, Tropical Toucan says, I'm pro-choice, but what are your opinions on the governor of Virginia and that proposal about late third trimester abortions? Yeah, I did a whole video on it. It's absolutely insane. I mean, ripping a baby out when it's about to be born just because the doctor and the woman, this is what happens when you don't believe in God. And there's some good atheists too. I'm not saying this, but like these people are so godless and soulless. They're like, they think that the woman and a doctor have the right to kill people. They're like anti-law. They don't want borders. They don't want like these people are, you could say anarchists. I don't know, but there's something up with it. No, I don't agree with what they're doing in New York, and certainly nine-month-old babies being aborted. There's not a doctor. It's crazy, and you could listen to doctors explain like what they've had to do. They're pulling out limbs and brains. Like it's insane. Late-term abortion is insane. Thanks for your work. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So I say you sound like you're having a spiritual awakening like Owen Benjamin. This seems to be happening to many at this time, including me. What do you think is going on? Yeah, it's a spiritual and mental revolution. I had a spiritual revolution I had a couple years ago on like a personal scale, and now I just started getting more into politics because I always disliked politics. So I've been going through a personal revolution. I would say years ago probably it started, but with politics like Trump, what I love about Trump is he shook up the whole world, and now everybody's like showing who they are. He's blunt, and he's forcing people's hand. Like before, I didn't know how people felt or how they deal. I just assumed, certain people felt certain ways, but like now everyone's outing themselves, and it's so extreme on both sides. You're seeing who's who, and it's like I assumed that there were not good people, for obviously, but I had no idea that like millions of people thought it was okay to like murder a 9-month-old baby that's about to be born, or a 9-month-old, about to be born baby. I don't know how to measure it. So yeah, it's like, I think the world is going through a spiritual revolution, as far as like good and evil is really bubbling. And, but I think it needs that, like, it needed to be Trump to expose everything. And now it's all out there. And now people are like, I could run for president. So it's unfolding in a very biblical way. And I'm sure it's in other religious texts too. Like it's very real and very, the world is going through some serious stuff, and it's deeper than politics and even finances. It's like a real root level thing that's going on. MSM doesn't want you to know about the yellow vest. Yeah, no, I talk about the yellow vest a lot, quite often on here. Thank you, Q Revere. I appreciate you, brother. God bless you. Someone said, why Trump? I don't know what you mean. Let's see, what are we talking about here? What's up, Thomas? Thank you for being here. We'll go like 10-15 more minutes. Thank you guys for being here. The Smith-Mundt Act allows Mockingbird Media to propagandize use. Yeah, look into that. They passed it on Christmas a few years ago. It's weird because it's like there's not a lot of articles about it, so it's hard to tell what exactly happened. But I've heard about that for years, and there's a lot of, even PBS and NPR, that's basically government funded propaganda, because I've watched an interview with the NPR, former CEO or whatever, or former leader. He said that there's no conservatives working there. Like, he admitted they don't allow, like, you're not really allowed. It's not in the ruling, but what is it called if you're taxpayer you're funding news organizations that hate half the country, that literally don't give you any perspective whatsoever? Like, if my taxpayer dollars are going to media, first of all, they shouldn't. Second of all, it better be 50-50, and there better be some impressive people, or else I'm going to complain. It's not. It's 100%, 0%. So there's legalized propaganda all over the place, for sure. A little late now, but what's your take on Venezuela? It's a shit show. I don't really know what to say. I think far left policies don't work economically, and now everybody's trying to get involved. I'm not big on foreign intervention at all. I'm anti-foreign intervention, but here's the difference between me and progressives, and well, liberals don't count because now they're just anti-Trump. They're probably pro-foreign intervention. But the difference between me and progressives is I'm anti-foreign intervention for America. I'm anti-foreign intervention for China. I'm anti-foreign intervention for Russia. And I'm noticing now that China and Russia are running all over the world. Like, Trump did the denuclear deal today. Like, he said he's going against the nuclear deal. Like, the world is bracing for a World War III. I don't want it to happen. I'm praying it doesn't. But, like, you have to put your chess pieces in certain places. I wish the world wasn't this way, but I'm reasonable, and I don't hate myself and hate my country. Progressives do. They're anti-foreign intervention for America, but they don't say a word about Chinese foreign intervention, barely ever, and they never talk about Russian intervention. It's like, and I'm not trying to be Rachel Maddow, but progressives are more pro-Russia than they are pro-America. And that's not me being Rachel Maddow, like, oh my God, Russia. It's just true. They don't call out, like, Russia's going to Venezuela. China's going, there's reports of naval ships going there. China's all over Africa. Like, if you're anti-US intervention, and you don't say anything about China and Russia foreign intervention, you're setting your country up for failure. So my thought is, like, the world is a game of risk until it's not. Trump, I truly believe, and I know, he doesn't want endless wars. He said that, he's worked on it, but the thing to do is not pull out everywhere and defund the military budget. That's like setting the US up for failure. Russia and China would crush us in an instant, and trust me, they want it. So, like, the stage is being set for World War III. Venezuela collapsed, and now everyone's trying to get their piece of the pie. But it's reckless. I don't want to intervene in Venezuela. I want to leave it alone. But if Russia starts creeping up South America and stuff, like, it's going to get saucy. And no one wants to say this. Even for anti-intervention right-wingers, it's like, dude, I'm just rational. I don't want it to happen, but if the world is setting up like a World War III risk, if we don't have pieces in place, we're going to get blown off the map by Russia. Like it's just true. You think Russia wants America to be the king of the world? You think China wants America to be the king of the world? Absolutely not. I don't like what we're doing in the Middle East. I don't specifically like what we're doing in Venezuela, but if you are only anti-intervention on America and you're not anti-intervention on Russia and China, you're setting your country up for failure. I implore you to bring this argument to any progressive like Abby Martin or Jimmy Dore, good people who do some good work. Ask them about that and ask them why they only talk about U.S. foreign intervention, but they don't mention quite often that Russia and China are running all over the map. I'm not being mean. I'm just curious. Sounds like a path to failure. What is it just like a path to failure is knowing the government's corrupt and then giving them control of the health industry and all the money. It's like, it's insane. The progressive, I don't know which one's more foolish. Liberals are obviously like brainwashed and just so far gone as far as like socially and like media wise now, but progressives, it's like they know everything, but then they want to do the opposite of right. I'm questioning whether they really don't know what's going on and they're like useful idiots and fools, or if they're just really nefarious people who don't want to admit it. I can't tell, because at this point, it's like, come on, it's obvious. What is it about Trump that makes him such a catalyst for change when Obama ran on change and we didn't see much progress as of now? It's a good question. Trump isn't a puppet. Like Obama came into politics with no money and he has a lot of money. Trump already made all his money. So like they always said, Trump's a billionaire, even Howard Schultz. It's actually good that they're billionaires because they're so rich, they don't have to take anyone else's money. They're so powerful that they don't have to take anyone else's money. Trump doesn't care. He has no allegiance to anybody. That's what makes Trump so dangerous. And he actually wants to. He's not a puppet. He loves this country and he wants to lead it. He wants to do what's right. He's not doing even the private prisons. And there's other industries like oil industries that gave him a little bit of money for his, what's it called? They gave him a little bit of money for his inauguration, but he went against the oil company in Venezuela because it's like, it's nothing to him. $100,000 doesn't matter. So that's what's different. Obama was a puppet. You know, he was George Bush. He was the George Bush foreign agenda-ish, you know, mixed with some liberal ideologies. Like it was all the same. McCain, you look at Romney, McCain, like look how they all hate Trump. Trump came from the outside truly. So what makes him different is the fact that he had money, the fact that he actually wanted to be different, and he's not a politician. If you Google, I don't know if it's Google, but on certain dictionaries, the word to politic is literally like it's a synonym for lying. Literally, it's like politician is this, a politician, like it means to lie. One of its definition is to lie and deceive. Like that's what they do. It's why they're all phony. Elizabeth Warren, total phony. Bernie Sanders, total phony. They're all phonies. Like you can't get there without being a phony. And another amazing thing that Trump did is he opened the gate to allowing you to be free. Now you see Lindsey Graham being somewhat cool sometimes. Ted Cruz is being cool. I don't believe even Sean Hannity's being cool sometimes. Me personally, I don't believe, and this is where progressives and liberals get mad at me. They're like, oh, you're a shill for Fox News. No, I'm not. Listen to what I'm saying. It makes 100% sense, and you probably have no argument against it. You can only smear me with false labels. Hannity does cool things now. I don't personally believe it's because he's like super woke and cool. It's because Trump won, and Trump is cool, and Trump is different, and he made it okay to be different. He made it profitable to be different. He made it profitable to tell the truth. Before that, you couldn't work there if you wanted to tell the truth. Now Tucker Carlson's coming out of his shell. Trump is changing the game for a lot of people, and he's allowing them to be themselves. He's like the real guy in a land of phonies. He's like, stop being such a pussy. And they're like, yeah, you're right. I'll tell the truth about Libya. And all I do is get by the left. They say, you're like, fuck. No, I'm not. I'm not a big fan of Fox News. I don't watch it. Most of their hosts are, honestly, I'm not to boast for myself, but I think I'd have the #1 show on there. And I'm not saying because I'm just saying, put me on MSNBC or CNN. I'll be the best thing on there. It's not because I'm that great. It's because they're that terrible. They're awful. It's when I watch, you could tell it's propaganda. Like it's just like the whole setting of it is just so obviously like mind control. It's awful. Someone said Trump is another Masonic puppet for the elites for power and gain a position. I mean, I don't know about that, but here's the thing about the Masons. I don't know enough. I'm trying to learn more about it. I was really interested in Freemasonry when I was younger, like 2008. I was really interested in Freemasonry. But here's the thing. Sorry, I'm seeing if there's a super chat. I don't know, like people just think the Freemasons are 100% evil, or I don't agree with that narrative. They might be very controlling. It's just like with the Jews, like are Jewish people highly influential in world politics and American politics? Do they own a lot of things? For sure. But is every Jew terrible? No, that's not true. David Horowitz, good guy. Roseanne, great woman. Like there's a lot of really good people who are fighting for America. Even Howard Schultz, he seems like he's way better than the Democrats. So with the Freemasons, like I don't know if Trump's a Freemason or not. I can't confirm that. I don't know. But if he is a Freemason, like it doesn't necessarily mean he's pushing an evil agenda of like maybe he's a good guy. Like maybe there's a lot of Freemasons who are good people. Maybe they're saving humanity. I'm not saying this for sure, but I've had so many different perspectives and talked to so many people where I'm starting to realize Daniel said he's a Freemason. I know low-level Masons, like really low level, like someone who just joined like a recent lodge. They're chill people. I met this dude at a bar who had like a Mason thing on his phone, and I asked him about it. He's like, "Do you want to join?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good." But like, I don't subscribe to this narrative that all people are like, people can't they can't like rationalize. I don't know, rationality. It's like they might not be a bad organization. Maybe they're horrible. Maybe they're destroying the world, but like maybe not. Someone say, how about David Berkowitz? I don't know anything about him. Someone said if Trump was not a puppet. Here's the thing though. People say if Trump's not a puppet, they would have got him already. Some people are very strong and some people win. Like Rome didn't last forever. Germany didn't last forever. Soviet Union didn't last forever. Great things fall. I don't subscribe to this thing of fear. You're going to get killed. Trump's going to get killed. No, Trump's not a pussy, and people are pussies. So like he went hard and he won, and he's going to continue to win. And like the CIA reign and the elite establishment reign, they're not going to reign forever. Like no great society has ever thrived forever. So I don't like when conservatives and progressives are weak and they're like, oh, I'm so afraid someone's going to get taken out. That's why they always win, is because everybody are pussies. I'm sorry. It's just true. So it's like, stop being a pussy. Like, some people might get taken out, but like either you're going to man up or you're going to be a pussy. And if everyone was as pussy as that, nothing would get done. Trump's not a pussy, and he's going hard and he's winning. And it is what it is. If you manifest, oh, they're always going to control everything, then they're going to, because they're taking advantage of your pussiness, whether you're on the right or the left. If you just do it, like Trump, he probably has a kill switch on him. He knows so much stuff. If they ever touch Trump, he could drop them like that. He knows so much. You think that he'd just let them take? Come on. I can't stand the cowardice from the left and the right, where they're like, oh, if he'd be gone already if he wasn't. Like, no, some people rise up and some people cower, and I don't like cowards. I don't care if you, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, people project this energy on me. Do you think I would have accomplished anything if I was a coward and I thought for a second that no, I don't care. Yeah, of course, I could walk out today and get hit by a car. I have a better chance of probably getting stabbed by a homeless person or getting hit by a car than I do of being taken out by the deep state. Like, texting and driving kills more people than the deep state does, at least in America. Maybe they do in other countries. Life is dangerous. Like, either man up or go away. And I'm not saying get out of the stream, but like, man up or woman up. Like, yeah, life is tough. I don't like the pussy mentality. Hold on. James said, Nam, I really appreciate your take, man. I have a few people in my progressive city to bounce ideas off of. I plan to make a video exposing this and would love to. Thank you, James. I think that's Felix the Realist, right? I recognize your picture. Sorry, I couldn't say it. Someone said, come to Appalachia. We're truly Trump country. I'm sure. I'll make my round soon. Thank you from Kentucky. All right, we got Kentucky in the house. Someone said it's just the good cop, bad cop BS, and I'm like, let's see, where are we at? Yeah, he's fighting left, right. Like no great empire ever stands, and it takes great, powerful people to end that. And the shift has already happened. Like like the shift is happening now. We need more people to be courageous and understand this is like a good time to do anything. If you're gonna do it, don't hesitate. Do it now. Like start a business, start your own channel or something. Like this is the time to do it. It wasn't 4 years ago where they were sneakily like offing journalists and silencing people. It's now. Someone said KFC poison for the body. Probably. Someone said Jesuits. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of secret societies and, there's a lot of factions of powerful people. Like it's just what it is. Someone said hate weak people. I don't hate it. I don't mind if people are weak on their own time. I don't like when people throw their weakness at me and they try to masquerade it as kindness. They're like, anomaly, be careful, watch your back. That'll get you blocked because you're not being kind to me. Like, I don't know to watch. Like I literally, my friend who doesn't even do politics, he got robbed in a different city last night. Like I know to watch my back. Like people get robbed all the time. Like that don't even do politics. Like I watch everything. I'm very alert. I'm very aware with everything. So I don't need your weakness. Like people, my friend, got literally jumped. He knows, I know, watch our back. We get it. Someone said Trump has leverage over the deep state. He knows something maybe about the moon landing or satanic codes, controlling government media. So not like Trump, you got to understand, he's playing chess. So if they were to do something terrible to Trump, I'm sure he has things on them that will crush the whole thing. And I believe, you can believe what you want, I believe we have truth on our side. We have God on our side. We have earth on our side. We have good people around the world on our side. And I believe that good energy is more powerful than bad energy. Bad energy is quick. Like bad energy is like being angry. Being angry is a weakness. Like being angry is not true strength. Being angry is like, an issue. It's strong, but it doesn't last for a while and you're going to end up regretting it. Being strong and confident in your truth is the most powerful energy ever. Propaganda works for a while, but it never stands the test of time. The truth will win. The God will win. The right side will win, whether you think it's the left or the right. Like, I believe that, it's like, there's some things that are more powerful than lies and dark energy. And I'm not worried about it at all. It's definitely concerning, but like, I mean, life is crazy and life is short. You can't worry about everything. You can't be afraid. Like everything is crazy, but everything is also not that bad. Like, have fun with it. It's fun. Someone said concerned trolling. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. It's like, I don't like when people say it. It's like my pet peeve because I believe in the power of manifestation and energy. I'm gonna hit you guys with some gems real quick before I leave. Right now, we're all connected. Literally, I'm streaming. You guys are like, we're connected. Your chat affects me. My energy and my message affects you. We're interconnected right now. You have power. Even if you have no followers right now, you have the power to change my day and you have the power to change other people in the chat's day. So even if you have 0 followers on any platform, you have a significant amount of power. You can change my day. I could change 1 million people's day, or I could change one person's day. They could change their family's day. They could change Viacom's day. So don't doubt your own power. With that in mind, what are you going to do with that power? Are you going to tell me to watch my back? Because now you're inflicting fear and negativity and paranoia onto me. So you're taking the power that you have and you're using it for bad. Even if you agree with my politics, that's bad energy. Thank you, Alyssa. I appreciate you. Alyssa Hendricks, God bless you. So don't misuse your power. Just like I have a lot of power. And with power comes responsibility. I know that. I'm not perfect, but I am proud that I'm a lot better than most people. And it's not a brag. It's like a sad thing that they're so bad. But use your power wisely. You could change my day for the better. You could ask me a good question. You could say something that makes me smile or laugh or think. So why would you take your power and use it to bring me down. Do you think that's helping me fight the deep state, is bringing me down? Just like I don't believe it's helpful to bring them down per se. Like, I'm not attacking people. I'm speaking my truth, and I'm sure that there's people at intelligence agencies that like what I'm saying, because there's people everywhere. Like, people know what time it is. I got friends all over the place. They're like, dude, people know what time it is, So it's like the hate is a mistake. Anger is a mistake. Fear is a mistake. Paranoia is a weakness. And don't use your power. First of all, don't underestimate the power that you have. It all roots from not, respecting or loving your own power. And then you bringing me down, it doesn't help me. So, just really, really value that. And that's the beautiful thing about the internet. It's like, you can change my life. You could change someone's life on Twitter or Facebook, even if you have no followers. Like, it's powerful. It sometimes when someone does something negative to me, it could affect my whole day. I shouldn't let it last. That's my choice and that's my weakness. But it's like, we have a lot of power. Like, why use it for the bad? Someone said you should go on Dave Rubin. He's got to invite me. I don't know what his deal is. I'm sure he's got other people and stuff, but eventually I'd love to. Hopefully this year. That's like, it's getting to that point that people are going to start having me on soon. But if they don't, whatever. I would love to be on Dave Rubin. That'd be epic. Someone said, don't project your weakness. Absolutely. Zambala said, you have a good soul. I think so. If you're mad, I talk to God. I've dealt with anger. God is the only thing that can help me. Do what you got to do. But if you can get in that zone and you can, leave your anger and talk to God, that's great. What about the envelope? Okay. What about the envelopes mystery at the Bush funeral? I think it's a non-factor. I mean, it could have been a secret message, but why would they do it in public? They could just do it behind closed doors. Also, maybe they did, but I think it's a distraction story, because people are spending a lot of time and energy on that. And it's like, I stay away from dead end stories, where it's like, I'm very pragmatic. So that's why there's like conspiracy faction movements that it's like, I don't disagree with what they're trying to do. I just don't personally agree with how they're going about it. And people are like, oh, you're a shit. No, I don't think it's actually useful the way. So it's like, maybe it was something, maybe it wasn't, but there's certain stories that I feel like it's just like, I try to be effective. And some people probably watch my videos and say, oh, Anomaly does bad stories. I try to do it like that story to me, even if we find out what they said, like, we're never going to find out what that message was. And even if we do, it's probably nothing that they haven't said already, like, or shown with their actions. But I don't know. It was definitely interesting. And, they're interesting characters. Man, we're crushing it today. We got 700 people. Yeah, I think I'm staying on YouTube, man. You guys are with the super chats. I think it's better than Facebook, and then I'll just move it to Facebook. Anomaly thoughts on a higher power. Yeah, no, I believe in God. I believe in God. I mean, I don't know. I spend my days staring at a rectangle, so it's kind of insane. Like, I feel like I'm in a simulation already. So it's like, I believe in God and a higher power. I don't believe in a lot of history, and I think that this whole plot is pretty epic. I don't know what's going on here, but I personally do believe in a higher power. Yes. Is Ruth Bader Ginsburg still around? Said Eric. I think so. I think she's around. She's probably just not very healthy. And that's another thing. Like, I think it's a trap. Like, the way conservatives talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, it's a trap. I said one time, and I left it alone, I said the Democrats would probably try to clone her. Like I was joking, but also being serious. Like, I don't trust the Democrats. I do think they would probably lie if she died and try to clone her or like do something crazy. I don't doubt you on that, but it's a bad look, I think, for the conservative movement to just be like, she's dead, she's dead, she's dead. It's a stupid thing to say, because you can't prove it. She's probably alive. And if she is alive and you're screaming she's dead, like, you look like an uncompassionate, like, people look insane. And this is why nobody likes the right wing. They're nutty. I mean, the left does it too, for sure. But I don't know. I think she's alive. I think she's probably very sick. She probably shouldn't be there. But look what they did to Kavanaugh. they'll do anything. Keep your eyes peeled on the Ruth Bader Ginsburg situations, but probably my personal thought is don't be the person screaming she's dead, because then if she shows up at a book event, then you look foolish. But they're going to trust me, they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that she stays till 2020. And if Kavanaugh gets in, or someone else, they're going to try to destroy their life. I mean, these people are full-blown psychopaths. They want to be able to murder babies so bad that they'll do anything. So she could be dead, she could be alive, but it's like, how do you go about talking about that? I don't know. It's up for grabs. All right, we'll do 2 more questions and then I'll roll out. Thank you guys for joining. I want to get some sunlight. Someone said Jimmy Dore is calling for the end of elections and wants a coup. Is that true? It doesn't sound like something he would do. I don't know if that's true, but I'll look into it, I guess. All right, let's get 2 good questions. If anyone super chats, I'll do two more super chats. If not, I'll just answer 2 questions. All right, Ziggy got one. There you go. Easy. What was planned for December 5th? They changed the narrative with the funeral, so the funeral narrative would change with the envelope. Touche. Possibly, for sure. I mean, the funeral was definitely like a 5-day narrative. That's a whole nother thing too. Like the whole McCain situation, it's just all sketchy. Like I'm not saying he's alive or anything, but it's like, dude, I don't trust these people at all. So yeah, I mean, they milked that for like 6 days, and then the envelope narrative, it's just a dead end narrative. You know, it's like there's so much going on. I pick and choose certain things. Like I stood up for the Covington kids, you know, and people were saying that was a distraction, but those are actual kids, you know, getting hurt. And also that was a big red pill for a lot of people too. Like I heard a lot of liberals who were like, oh shoot, like that dude's not really a Vietnam vet like he said he was. Like it's a red pill for sure. Thank you for your calm, rational commentary. There's great energy around you. Wishing love and success. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That's the vibes. Like thank you. Do it really. I'm not like, I don't need people to agree with me. You could question me and, you know, ask me questions, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's good energy. I appreciate that. Even if you ask me questions or question me, that's cool. Just don't send bad vibes. Someone said, yeah, I don't trust these hoes. All right, we'll do 1 more question and we'll roll out. Thank you guys for joining. Let's see. Someone said if the good guys are winning, why are they still chemtrailing? Like I said, I don't know if they are or aren't. I personally think they are. Yeah, I do have a PayPal. It's in the bio. All my stuff's in the bio if you look in the bio. But I think it's like, here, I'll end on this note because I say it all the time. Outside of the politics, like I think it's a spiritual and like self battle. Like I really believe in the ideology of like, to change the world, you have to change yourself. You can't help others if you haven't helped yourself. The first step is bettering yourself, and the world will change around you. I feel like I've made that happen for myself. You have to focus mostly on yourself. You can't be a hypocrite. And that's what the left has become. I understand that they're trying to help, and in many ways they could be right, but mostly. So hold on, I'll answer that in a second. Give me your take on the article on Twitter. You got to tell me what article. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I forget. But I think that the left, they've mastered the art of like trying to worry about everyone else's problem, which is why they're always trying to get money, power, and control, and they think it's going to redistribute, but they haven't healed themselves. So I think the reason they're doing stuff, like I was saying earlier, they're desperately, frantically trying to solve all the world's problems, but they lie to themselves. If you lie to yourself, you're going to get lied to. If you don't love yourself, you can't love other people. If you haven't healed yourself, you can't heal the world. And I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them are broken. A lot of them are lost. A lot of them lie to themselves about basic things that they know are probably true at night. So they're frantically doing a bunch of crazy psycho stuff that doesn't actually help the world in desperation to help the world because they forgot the first step of like changing the world. And I'm not perfect. I have my own issues and problems, but the difference between me and a lot of these other people are like over the past 4 years, I've made ridiculous amount of progress. And every year I try to get better and better and better and better. I don't say I'm the best. Oh, I'm an anomaly. I have 200 million views and I'm so much better than everyone. I'm like, man, I'm a very flawed individual. What can I do wrong? Let's cut this out of my life. Let's cut that out of my life. Let me start drinking tea instead of coffee. Let me stop eating so much bread. Like every year I do something more next level and it changes my life and I get better. And then I'm able to help more people because I'm not a psychopath. I genuinely am happy and comfortable and truly confident, not egotistical, like self-esteem. And it goes a long way. If you heal yourself, you can heal the world. The reason the left does all this crazy stuff, they haven't healed themselves. They lie to themselves. They haven't, they're broken and just like not on a path. They're more concerned with changing everyone else than they are about changing themselves. And to be honest, I find that a lot on the conservative side. I just appreciate the fact that conservatives don't want to steal stuff from me because of their own flaws. At least conservatives have flaws and they want to leave it alone. And, it's like they could be mean and annoying, but same with the conservative side. I feel like there's a big lack of self-accountability on there, but on the right, you could talk about self-accountability and they love it. On the left, if you talk about self-accountability, they call you racist, sexist, and xenophobic. They're allergic to the truth. They're allergic to self-accountability. They're allergic to self-responsibility. Not everybody, but some. They're allergic to true self-awareness. They're allergic to personal liberty and freedom and the basic ideologies of like root level, like what's causing these problems. It's, first of all, it's like we have a mental health crisis. We have a drug opioid crisis. You could blame it on the pharmacy industry or the television for promoting it nonstop or whatever, but get to the root. They don't get to the root. They're just freaking out. And then it's like they're like going nuts, legitimately losing their minds. But that's what happens when you don't heal yourself, when you don't want to change yourself, and when you spend a majority of your energy hating on other people. Like even when I'm live streaming, I talk about other people, but if you notice, I'm never really mean to anybody. I'll make jokes here or there, but I'm as kind and respectful as possible because I'm not trying to attack other people. I don't like to be attacked. I wouldn't want to be attacked, and I would appreciate if someone talked about me that didn't know me and did it as kindly as I did. That's how I want to be treated. They say, treat others like you want to be treated. If you don't treat others like you want to be treated, and then you don't get treated that way, that's how the world works. You're going to get more blowback. And a lot of these people, they get a lot of blowback, and it's because they're firing off at people all the time in a dishonest manner. My reply to your live stream post, you liked it. No, I know, but I'm not on here. Since you super chatted, I'll go real quick and try to figure out what exactly you said. Can you just tell here? We'll make this easier. Can you just tell me? Just tell me now what the video is. I like too many. You don't have to super chat it. Just tell me what the article was. I don't remember exactly. I'm trying to think. Just say it in the chat and I'll answer that. Then I'm going to roll out. Thanks for joining. Yeah, just type what the article is about, brother. Thank you, Ace. I appreciate it. When's your next live schedule? I don't have a schedule. I just free fly. So, I'll pop up sometimes. I won't. I like it that way for now. Eventually, maybe I'll schedule. It's an article about the 800 initiative. Bro, you gotta give me more. You gotta give me more. You gotta give me more than that. I don't know what that is. You gotta explain it or I can't answer it, and then I'm gonna roll out. What's the 800 initiative? I don't know what the 800 initiative is. I don't even know what that is. You gotta give me more. Thank you, brother. If you explain it, I can let you know what I think about it, but I don't quite understand. Bob Ross is straight up underground. It's all right. Underrated. I'm overrated and underrated at the same time. It's crazy. Wait, I'm looking for my guy who super chatted me because he wants me to talk about an article that I don't know anything about. Just let me know give me Memphis is making racist initiatives, giving minorities a systemic advantage. Oh yeah. Okay. Now I remember. I have to look into it, but I don't doubt it. They're literally, it's crazy because all they do is claim systemic racism, but all the systemic racism that's in our country that they want to bring and that they've brought in the last 5-10 years, it's anti-white, anti-Asian systemic racism. They're rigging the whole system in favor of other people, and no matter how much they rig it, it's what you know, Peterson talks about it, other people. Equality of outcome, it doesn't add up. You can make everything 50-50, but even in societies that they've done that, women still go to certain jobs, men still go to certain jobs, certain people work harder, certain people won't work. Like, the problem in my personal perspective in the Black community in the last 20, 30, 40 years is like democratic ideology. I mean, you have people from Asia and even Africa. I have friends from Africa. They disassociate with the African-American ideology because they don't think like that. So a lot of my African friends that are like blacker than Black, they come over here and do great because they work hard, they love their family, and they don't make excuses. Same with Asians. Asians come here and crush it. They don't even know the language. So the problem is not that, like, the systemic thing has been I mean, there's certain things you can help certain, but like the ideology and the mental state of the Black community in America, what they've been programmed to believe is like victim mentality, lack of self-accountability, lack of self-responsibility, and it's crushing their family structure. It's crushing their ability to succeed. And instead of actually, you know, educating the Black community and explaining this to them, what white liberals do is they just pose racist policies all the time. And they say, we're going to give you this, that, and the other. But it's just like, we're going to end on this note. It's just like the Vice thing. They bent over backwards probably to give these people jobs because they were gay and certain ethnicities. And then it didn't work out. And then the reality set in, and, you know, they had to find a new job, and they complained and called them racist and sexist. This is the leftist progressive loop. It's never going to stop because certain things happen because of history, but certain things also happen because of other things. You know, genetics play a factor, you know, mindset plays a factor, culture plays a factor, and the Black community culture is not a successful ideological culture. Chinese come over here and they have a smart culture that makes them do well. Africans come here and do very well because Africans from many parts of Africa have a culture that is smart and is like upward trajectory. Black American culture over the last 30 years is like downward spiral. And then if you're like a person who's like, hey, I want to do this and that, and I'm going to be successful, they call you all sorts of names unless you play, you know, into that culture. So it's the whole culture is toxic. And I say this as a friend, and I know that great Black leaders know this too. I'm not the only one. It's just like those great Black leaders will never be put on television because they only want people that play into the mindset and the culture that will in turn actually hurt the Black community. And I'm going to end real quick on, we're going to listen to Malcolm X again, and then I'm out because he says it better than I can. Let's get it real quick. Where are we at here?
I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro.
The entire community, you know, not much has changed since then. It's still controlled mentally and in many cases financially by the white liberal. And now that they use people of other races as well, so they're like, look, we don't own it anymore. But if they have the same mentality that you just made them believe, it's not going to help. And that's why I really go hard at that. Thank you, Relic Bear. Appreciate you, brother. Man, you guys go hard. All right, I'm going to take off before I get more money. I'm going to try to enjoy my day. And I'll be on Facebook. I'm going to stream at probably 4 o'clock, so 2 hours. Because, yeah, I'm back. So I need to do I'm back, why they banned me. And then I'm going to put my Jesse Smollett video probably right on there, try to get that to go viral because we'll see. Thank you, guys. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. And God bless the world. Appreciate you joining. This has been fun. I think I have a home here on YouTube. So congratulations, guys. You won me in the Facebook battle. I'll be